Okay, just a minute. Okay, so this is your C programming. ठीक है, दिस इज एन एडिटर और यहाँ से ही तुमको सी प्रोग्रामिंग ऑन करना है। ठीक है, अभी जो स्टूडेंट का पास, एक मिनट। ओके, उससे पहले हम थोड़ा अपना इंट्रोडक्शन देता है। माय नेम इज संतोष शाह एंड आई एम एन असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर, सीनियर असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर, ओके, in computer science and engineering department, and I'll be taking your numerical method lab. Okay, so just a minute. Absent chile. Okay, so I'll be sending you, or you can download this Turbo C++ from uh, net. Okay, so there is no issue. You download it, there will be a virtual box. Okay, and through that virtual box, you can easily uh, write and compile your program, and you can execute it also. Okay? So this is basically the screen. Okay, so there is a file, there is an edit, there is a search, run, compile, debug, project, option, Windows, and help. So these are the menus. So सारा का सारा मेनू जानने का तुमको जरूरत नहीं है. Then click on new. Okay, then you will be getting this kind of interface. So your programming, and by default the name will be no name.cpp. Okay, if you want to change your file from cpp, cpp means C++ extension. Okay, and .c means the C extension. Okay, now this window has been divided into two parts. One is the editor, okay, where you can edit, and the next part is basically to display the information regarding the compilation or the errors and all those things. Okay, it will be generating the information. I'll just show you. Okay, so and here are some shortcut keys like F1. If you press an F1, then you'll be getting help. By pressing an F2, you can save your file. By F3, you can open your file. Okay, and then Alt F9 to compile, F9 for make, and F10 for starting the menu. Okay, and how you are going to make it full screen, for that you have to press F5. Okay, so you just press F5 once, it will get full screen. You press it once again, then again it will come back to the original um, shape. Okay, is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
now if you want to make it full screen, you just click on this up arrow, then also it will become full screen. Okay, now I cannot increase the size of this window because options are not there. Okay, so is it okay for you, the size of the screen? Is it full screen or it is showing in a small screen? What is the output that you are getting in your side? Are you able to see it in a full screen or in a small window?
In small
Oh,
window, sir.
full screen, sir.
Full screen. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'll be writing some basic programs. Okay, and like to give you an idea, like those students who don't know like how to write a C program and all those things. Okay, I'll just give you a small. So what happens here, like in a C or in the C++, you need to add some header files. Okay. Now, why these header files are required? You just turn on your video so that I will be able to see you all.
Sir,
BJ,
I
can
am
you hear
having
me?
some network issues, sir.
Okay, okay. Now, those who
It's
are having any,
disconnecting.
okay, okay. And rest BJ, then Sogoto. Okay, you all just
Sir,
turn on.
I am also having.
ओके जो लोग का प्रॉब्लम नहीं है वो टर्न ऑन करो वीडियो ताकि मेरे को थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल फील हो नहीं तो अकेले अकेले आई विल बी आल्सो गेटिंग बोर्ड ओके ओके so what happens in C programming you need to add a header files okay header files means like for example there is an header file like hash include stdio.h okay as you all know also like stdio.h means what stdio means the standard input and output you all know that the standard input you are taking from your keyboard and the output is being displayed on your screen but you no need to write any code to display these things on your screen okay so all the codes has been written inside that header file okay how it has been converted like those numbers you are pressing a key from your keyboard and those keys back of that in the background there are some values okay that is known as the ASCII values okay so 256 ASCII characters are there okay for capital A it is 65 and for the small a it's a 97 okay that is the reason your capital A and the small a is not same the number 0 is 48 then 1 is 49 like that it keeps on going okay so, so these are the values that are there in your ASCII. Okay, and ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information. So how these values are coming and it is being interpreted by the computer, you no need to write these codes at all in your program. Okay, so what you are supposed to do, you need to include the header file in your program. Okay, so doing this like taking an input and displaying on your screen and for those things, there is a header file that is known as the standard input and output. Okay, that is the stdio.h. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to include this in your program, and then in this standard input and output, the stdio.h header file, there are some functions. Okay, like the functions to print something on your screen there is a printf and to take an input there's a scanf okay so this scanf and the printf this method or this function has been written in this header file that is the your stdio.h okay. Now this is all about your C programming. Now suppose you want to write a C++ programming okay now for C++ programming, there is a header file that is known as the iostream.h. Okay, just the name has been changed. As the name has been changed, the function's name has also been changed. Okay, now there, if you want to take an input, okay, then there is an cin. Okay, and if you want to display something on your screen, then there is a cout. Okay, so these methods are there as it has changed from C to C++. So the methods as well as the header name has also been changed. Now why C++ came, I am not going to means I'm not going on all those things because it is out of the scope of this course. Here we'll be doing only the C programming. I'm just explaining you the basic interface and the basic your basic header files and the functions that is been required for you to write the program. Okay. So I'll be writing only the C program and I'll just give you an example, give you an overview. Okay? So first you need to write the header file. Okay. So hash include include include. Then just write down stdio.h. Okay. Next void main. So this is the main method that I'm writing. I'll be explaining you um, about the void and all those things. printf printf hello uh, e students. Okay, so this is the message that I'm going to print on the screen. Okay, so I have written this program. Okay, and what I'm supposed to do now, I'll just compile it. Okay, so you just see this screen. Okay, so it has been compiled. So the main file or the file name is written out here. .cpp means it's a C++ program. Okay, and it doesn't mean that if the extension is .cpp, so you can't write the C programming out here. So those things are means it won't be giving you any error. Okay, now total line compiled is 312, and there is no warning, and then there is no error. Okay, and then there is a success. Okay, and just press any key, it will go. So there is no error. So what you did, you just compiled this program. So how many lines of code have I written? So 1 2 3 4 5 lines of code. But when you compile this, just see, line has been compiled 312. So why it is 312? Because I have included this stdio.h, and this method printf and all those things has also been compiled. Okay, now next what I am supposed to do, I'll just run this program. Okay, see, it has showed you the output. Now how you are going to see the output? You have to go to this windows. Okay, and in this window there is an option that is an output. See, this is an output that uh, has been given by that program, that is the hello electrical or hello EE students. Okay, is it visible to you all? Are you able to see the output?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you want to close it, just click on the click over here, it will get closed. Okay, see, it has been closed. So what happened, I have compiled it. Okay, every time you run the program, so before running you just compile it, next you just run it. Okay, see, again the same problem happens out here. So you are unable to see the output. And now here you can see that two times I have run this program. So there are two outputs are there. Okay, so now what changes that I can do out here is, see, every time I won't be clicking on this window and then I will see the output. Okay, now for that, are you sleeping, Dheeraj Kumar?
Sorry, sir.
Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do, I'll just include one more header file, that is include hash include, and the header file is conio.h. Now what this conio.h is all about, conio means this console input and output. Okay, now there are some methods. Okay, like the methods that I'm going to use is the getch. Okay, now this getch method, I'm just calling this method getch. Okay, but whatever is written to stop the screen, it has been written under this header file, that is the conio.h. Okay, so as I told you all that before running the program, you need to compile it. So compile it again. Now you can see that total line has been compiled is 461. Previously it was, I think, 215. Okay, so there is no error. You just run this program and just see what changes has been done after I added this getch. Now you can see the output, but still there is a problem. The problem is, three times I have executed this this program, so the three output is been visible out here. Okay, but I don't want three output, I just want only one output. Okay, okay, so for that there is one more function, that is clrscr. Okay, clrscr.
Oh,
Now what this method is going to do is, it's going to clear the screen. Okay, before the output that is being displayed by this program, it will clear the previous output that is there. Okay, so again you need to compile it. Every time you run the program, you have to compile it. Okay, so I've finished compilation, there's no error, and then you just run this program. See, I have previously I have added this getch. Okay, and then I have compiled it. total line of code was 462. After I have included this CLR still the line of code is 462. Okay, that means what? It compiles it takes takes the code and it compile it. Okay, now again I'll run. Now you can see the changes. That is the previous output that was there. Okay, that three times. Now this is the fourth time I'm running this program. So if I would have not been included this CLR then there it would have been like four hello electrical students. Okay, that output. But since I have included here this CLRSCR, the previous output has been cleared before this line is being displayed. I think this is clear to you all. Is it
Yes,
clear to
sir.
everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
Yes,
before
sir.
I explain anything, I would just like to explain you all about the method because method is very important. Okay. Now, the simple one that I'm going to like void display. Okay. So this is the method display display. Okay. Now, okay, I'll just cut it from here and I'll paste it over here. Okay. Now I'll compile it. So there is no error, but it doesn't mean the program will get executed. What is the reason? The reason is I haven't called this method. I have declared this method, okay, but I have never called it inside this main. So just see the output. It's a blank. But if you call this method out here, okay, now you can see the output. Okay, see, hello electrical students. So what actually I am doing out here is see the same program. Okay, this uh, print statement previously it was between the CLR and getch. But what I am doing here is I have included a method. Okay, or a function method and all are the same things. Okay, so this is the function definition. Okay, and this is the function call. So I'm just writing here this is the comment line. Okay, so whatever I write after this double slash it will be ignored by the compiler. Okay, that is it's not going to compile. Okay, so this is function call. Okay, now this is what is this is the function definition. Okay, this line I'll just give a tab and then I'll just write here that this is the function definition. Now, in a function, there has to be three part, okay? Either three part or two part, but there cannot be less than that, okay? See, there has to be a function prototype, okay? That function prototype basically says that what this function is all about, okay? So basically, this function should have a three part, okay? But I'll explain that. But now here, this function is having two part. One is the function definition. Okay. So what is this function is all about? That void display. So void means this function is not going to return anything. Listen it carefully. That this void means this function is not going to display anything. And this display is basically the name of a function. Instead of writing display, I can write something else also. DISP also I can write. Okay. So what are the changes that has to be made? Why if I change it? See DISP. Okay. So DISP. Now there will be no error because the function definition as well as the function call are same. See, got the output. Okay. So this is the function now. Then there is a parenthesis. Okay. Now within this bracket there is no argument. Since I am not taking any argument out here, so it is blank. Okay. So this method doesn't take any argument inside, that is an input, as well as it is not sending anything back to the main. Okay. See what happens out here. See, main is the function, or the this is the basic, this is the main function that will be executed. See, sometimes back I just showed you that I have not included this line. Okay, or if I just make it a comment. Okay, now see what will happen. It's a blank. So why it's blank? Because it has cleared the previous output, and then nothing is there to call or nothing is there to display, and it is waiting for a key press. That's it. Okay. But here, once I include this DISP, or once I'm calling this method, that is the display method, what happens after it clear the screen, the control goes back to this display method, okay, or this display function. And then what happens, this message is getting displayed on your screen, and after this message has been means displayed, this control comes back to the main, that is the get ch. Okay, सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Main is the place where the program will get executed. Okay, अगर हम n number of, like I can add 2 3 4 5 methods, and if I don't call, then those are means those will not those method will not get executed. Okay, or those method will not never been called. Okay, so what I am doing here, I am calling this clrscr. Okay, now this is because of this std no sorry, this conio.h, and this getch is also written in conio.h, so those things will get executed. Okay, okay, you can create your own header also in C programming. Okay, okay, so now everybody has understood this method, this function one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'll just change it and I'll make it add, add. Okay, and I'll pass two arguments. Okay, that is an int x comma int y. Okay, so I'm passing two methods, and then what it's going to do is, it is going to do, or it's going to write addition is percentage d. Percentage d, why it is? Because in order to display the integer variables. Okay, and then here you just write down x plus y. So whatever the, so x plus y, it will display, okay, the value after it perform the addition. Now inside the display, what you can do is, you can pass two values. You can pass two values, that is, one is 10. Okay, 10 comma 20. See what happens out here. After clearing the screen, it calls this method, that is the display method, and it takes two argument. One is the 10, the another one is the 20. Okay, so 10 and 20, what is so this value of 10 will be copied in x. Okay, and this value of 20 will be copied in y, and then it comes under inside this method, and it will print addition is percentage d x plus y. Okay, now I'll just compile it. Okay, one error is there. uh, should DISP should have, okay, I now it has to be changed from DISP to add. Okay, now see, the addition is 30. Okay, is it clear to everybody? सबको समझ में आ
Yes,
रहा
sir.
है ये?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so previously, what did I say you all that a function should have a prototype? Okay, so this is the function definition. Okay, I'll just cut it and then I'll paste it somewhere else. Now, why there is a need for this function prototype or function definition? I'll explain this. So before that, I'll just write this void. Uh, the name of is add, and then there is an int, comma int. Okay. So what is this? This is a function prototype. Okay. So this function has got three part. धीरज कुमार सुनाई दे रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So as I told you all that this function will have three part. Okay. So first part is the function prototype. Okay. So till now I don't know this function, how many lines of code is there and what this function is going to do. Okay, whether the display will be done inside this function or inside this main. Okay, like whether it is going to send the values to the main or it is going to display it over here. So by this time I don't know what this function is going to do and how it's going to do, but I know what this function is all about. Okay, this function is all about addition and it is going to take two argument. Okay, so the name of the argument and all those things is not defined till now. So this is the function prototype. Then I have to call this function. Okay, so this is the function call and the actual definition of this function has been written out here. Is it clear to everybody? So now you don't need this function prototype. So for that, what you have to do is you have to write this function definition before this main. Previously, it was defined before the main. So then there is no required for this function prototype. Okay, but basically this function, while doing a function program, you need these three things. Okay, one is the function prototype, or just write down the function definition before the main. Then this function prototype is not required. Now the other thing is that this function prototype should always been ended or been enclosed with an like a semicolon. Okay, this is the end of the statement. Okay, but here you can see there is no end, like no semicolon, because this is a method and it has to be opened and then you have to write the definition of this method. Okay, and function call also there will be a semicolon, that is the end of the statement. Okay, now next what can I do is uh, for loop. Okay, I will change this and I'll make it a print. Okay, void print, print print. So what this method is going to do, this method will not take any argument, it is just going to print something on your screen. Okay. So it is going to print this. Dheeraj Kumar, you can mute yourself. Now I will keep See loop, why this loop is been required? Loop is required because if I if I going to uh, do the means repetition of the process, okay, like 5 times. If I want to print this hello electrical students, okay, then 5 times I need to write this, okay. But if I put it inside a loop, okay, there is a for loop, then there is a while loop, then there is a do while loop. I'll explain those things. Like for int I, okay, this is the variable I equals to 1, I less than equal to 5, and then I plus plus, so I plus plus, okay, and here you just use this curly braces. Now if there is a single line of statement, no need to write, no need to provide this curly braces. But if there is a more, or like more than one, then you have to, or you can include this curly braces, okay. See, it's a very simple program. What it's going to do, see, these are the things you have seen in the previous program also, that there is a function prototype, okay. Or like if I'll just cut it and I'll paste it out there. Okay, so there's a function definition, that void print, and this function doesn't take any input, okay. So print method is being called inside your main method, and whenever the control comes to this print method, so what it does, it just prints this using the for loop, okay, 5 times. Like I equals to 1, I less than equals to 5, and I plus plus. This is basically the initialization, okay. Now, till here it's an initialization. What I'm doing that I have defined a variable that is an I, and I am initializing it with an 1, okay. And then this is the condition, that how long it's going to run, till it is less than or equal to 5, okay. So initial value of I is 1, okay. The condition is satisfied, that is 1 is less than 5. Okay, now it will, what it's going to do, it will increment this, okay. After printing this, it will just increment the value of I. So next time the value of I will become 2, okay. So 2, again it's going to check the condition that 2 is less than 5, then again it's going to print this statement, and it will increment it. Now next time when it increments, the value of I gets to be 3. So 3 is again less than 5, so again it will run, okay, it will print it, and it will increment the value of I. So now the value of I is 4. So again it will change, it will check. So 4 is less than 5, again it's going to print this line, okay, and then afterwards it will just increment the the value of I, okay. And now the value of I is been 5, okay. So 5 is not less than 5, but it is equal to 5, okay. So since 5 is equal to 5, again it's going to print this statement, okay. Now what happens, it will increment the value of I. Now the value of I will become 6, okay. Now it's going to check again this condition whether it's satisfied or not, like 6 is neither less than nor equal to 5. So it will discard, and then control will come back to the next statement, okay. That is the get ch. Is it clear to everybody? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See here, the hello electrical student has been printed 5 times, but
Fashion.
since I have not used any line break, okay, or line fade, so it's been displayed. So I can use here slash n, okay,
So,
slash n. So after I write here slash n, it will run, or it will display in 5 different lines, okay. This is Hello, electrical students. So this has been printed five different lines. Okay, because I have used here this line field, that is an slash n. Now I can write uh, I can use it before also. So what will happen before printing this? There will be a line. Okay, a new line will be there. So it will not start from the beginning. Okay, see, first line has been blank, then it has been printing in each and every lines. Okay, so no need to write this in the beginning. You just put it at the end also. That will be better. Okay. Or the backspace you can use. That is the shortcut key. Okay. Just compile it once again and just check whether everything is uh, perfect or not. Okay. Next, there is a while loop and then there is a do while loop. So, what is the difference between while loop and do while loop? See, in a do while loop, it will run, okay, and then it's going to check for the condition. If the condition is satisfied, okay, okay, I'll explain that while also. IDI. Now, while I is less than equals to 1, okay, it will print, and then at the end, what I am going to do is I will increment this I plus plus. Okay, just compile it and then run. So, same thing. So, what is the difference between for loop and the while loop is in a for loop, I have written this initialization, the condition, and the increment in the same line. Okay, but in this while loop, the initialization has been done previously. Then there is a condition that has been checked whether is this condition satisfied or not. Whether if this condition is satisfied, then only it will print this line. Okay, and after printing this line, what it's going to do, it will just increment the value. Okay, rest of the things is same. Now we'll see do while. Okay, now in do while what happens, these things will come down. Okay, and the one more thing is that here you have to use semicolon. Okay, see, you might be thinking that what is the difference between for loop, while loop, and do while? Why do we use this do while? Okay, now here I'll change. Okay, while I is less than 1. Okay, so what is the value of I? I is 1. Okay, and what about this condition? This condition satisfied or not? This condition will never satisfy because I is not less than 1. Okay, after after this part will get executed, it will increment the value of I. Okay, is it clear? But still this thing will run. Okay, see how it's going to happen. I will explain. Okay, see one time it has got printed. Okay, so what is the condition? My condition is I is less than 1. See, I is never less than 1 because I can be equal to 1. Okay, but I is never less than 1. But this do while, what happens out here, this condition will be checked later on after it gets printed. Okay, in while loop it will be checked before, and then those things, this printing will be done. Okay, in while loop, what I have done, that previously there was an initialization, then there was a condition, then there was an increment. Okay, in the previous in the while, but here in do while it will run one time. Okay, and then it will check for the condition. That is the reason it is known as do while. Okay, first time it will do, and then it will check for the condition. If the condition is satisfied, okay, then it will run. If it is not satisfied, then it's not going to run. Okay, now I'll be taking 10 minutes break, and after 10 minutes break I'll be writing a program for you. Okay, Newton-Raphson method. So we'll take a break. Okay, during the break we just recall all those code what I have explained you all right now. Okay, so there is a 10-minute break. We'll see you after 10 minutes.